when things start to get really serious and all that take place, you got and I try to basically rob even the food trucks, because every 3 days, it's supermarket have to basically restock. Someone soon start basically to rob the truck then. They're gonna lead to that. And food, and then food are gonna stop come.
Can.
So you're gonna hey, we're in some serious times here. And as the scripture says, many of them, the second is 16 and verse, I think 22. Second is 16 and verse 22, I believe. What?
No, 22, yeah. See, 2 Ezra 16 verse 22.
What?
So many of them that dwell upon the earth.
So what the scripture says, many of them that dwell upon the earth, what?
Shall perish of famine.
Shall perish of famine. So a lot of people gonna die, of famine at the time to come. You already see the preparation taking place right across the world. And scripture says that one of the terriblest way to die is die basically by hunger. What?
And the other that escape the hunger.
And the other that escape the hunger and will escape the basically famine, what?
Shall fall by the sword.
Shall fall by the sword.
Shall the sword destroy.
Shall the sword destroy. So all who escape the famine, they might get destroyed by the sword. The modern day sword is like basically gun. If the machete, the knife, you name it. So you escape the famine, you're gonna get destroyed by a different thing. Give me Lamentation, I think Lamentation 4 and verse 9.
So you have your food store up here. And
government can take that also.
Or man find it and cut you up.
What?
This is Lamentation 4 and verse 9.
What?
The day that are slain with the sword.
People said they that are slain with the sword. What?
Are better than they that be slain with hunger.
Are better than they that is slain with hunger. So we take it put to death by the sword and basically get put to death by hunger. Because you die faster. What?
For these pine away.
For these pine away, go on.
Stricken through for want of the food.
Stricken through for want of the food. If the fruit have basically failure. So, scripture say you will even eat your own self to see what that will be. You will snatch on the right hand, eat off the whole of the flesh off your right hand to a level of hunger. Hungry basically you will feel you will eat the flesh off your own right hand. Then you turn to the left hand and still not going to satisfy. So famine is one of the terriblest way to die. And the scripture says very clearly, many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. I will live in the time, this prophecy is going to come to pass. All these prophecies, when the scripture speak, that come to pass right before your eyes. Go on.
Alright, so the UNICEF reported that approximately 80% of family households on the island suffered a reduction in income.
And suffer reduction in income. What?
Even more alarming is that 1 in every 2 households reported only having enough income or savings to sustain them for 2 weeks or less. Right?
Yes, what we say earlier. See the money we have in the bank, that I get.
Right, you maybe have 20 grand and save.
You have to use it then. And now no other income.
No option that did it. Alright, as Jamaican locally felt the economic pressure of COVID-19, so too were those in the diaspora. Over 30% diaspora, right? Over 30% of Jamaicans had turned to their loved ones overseas to send remittance.
And that's one of the main things, a lot of these so-called Jamaicans, which are mainly from which have Benjamin, and depend on, remittance. Family overseas sending money. Right. And family overseas are basically feel it too. So how basically take place. Go ahead.
Remittance to survive. At the peak of COVID-19, money transfer service across the island had hundreds of Jamaicans lining up on a daily basis to collect remittance from family and friends abroad.
Right.
In April, Jamaicans had lost their jobs due to COVID-19. Were given a 10,000 Jamaican dollars.
10,000 Jamaican dollars.
Which is 70 US, right? COVID-19 stimulus
And a lot of people still not get the money there.
Right.
Pay more money there.
from the
They promise.
government.
Right?
But for many households with children, this was barely enough
Yeah,
to purchase a week worth of groceries.
Right.
Right? Yes, I have the question.
Right.
That's, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes 12 verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall
So
tremble.
what the scripture says, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, we're approaching that day basically right now. You know, all these leaders, you know, are right across the road. Even I'm out in Jamaica, they're going to tremble to the level of chaos going to take place here. When you say they have 4,000 odd soldiers, you know, and much police that can't help them, you know, to the level of chaos going to happen in 14 parishes. You know, because, you know, when hunger start and the looting start, you know, what will take place here. And guess what? A lot of these soldiers and police, they don't really believe in the basically the government. Yeah, because even this whole election even prove it. It's less than 25% of soldiers basically voted in this election. Will take place what day? So for sure, so when things get really serious, a lot of them going to basically run left the force. You know? So it don't have to happen in Jamaica. So it's in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble. One.
And the strong men shall bow themselves.
And the strong men shall bow themselves. One.
And the grinders cease because they are few.
And the grinders cease because they are few. There are few people basically at work. Now, I already have a lot of people losing job because of the whole coronavirus.
Right.
You know, and things get worse and worse as we go closer and closer to the end of this year. One.
And those that look out the windows
And
be
those,
darkened.
and those that look out the window, you know, people are going to say, no better now come. Because things are getting worse and worse. And Jake going to bug out. Because in a Jake mind right now, how people live out in Jamaica, you know, for them here is things will go back to normal soon and them can go back to party and do what they want to do. But then say when they wake up to a realization, say, yo, a worse things that get worse, them are going to bug the hell out and them are going to do some crazy things, yo.
Look
Go on.
through the window as the scripture says and see no future.
Right.
Right, it says. And the door shall be shut in the street.
Supermarket gonna shut, all these business places gonna shut now. You have people in New York closing their business and moving basically move out. They're gonna live in the country area.
Right.
You know, because they already saw it come. You know? One, so they run from the whole chaos that gonna take place. One,
When the sound of the grinding is low,
when the sound of the grinding is low, one,
and he shall rise up to the sound at the voice of the bird.
you must say he shall rise up at the what? The voice of the birds. So this way the place are quiet because you're not going to chuck a drive on a car or a bike. This is totally quiet. So you're going to wake up in the morning to the voice of the birds. One.
And all the daughters of music shall be brought low.
And all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All these celebrities, all these entertainers, all them are going to get brought low. You know, very soon. Remember that?
This is 2 Ezra 6 and verse 22.
One.
And suddenly shall a sound place appear and sound.
People say, suddenly shall a sound place appear and sound. You have a scripture in Ecclesiastes. You can get me out for me, brother. I think 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 3. Yeah, man, go on, same place here. 1 Thessalonians 5 and think 3. I'm going to brother continue. Hold on. Keep me going. I'm going to find them all. Fine?
This is
Oh, this is, yeah, man,
This is 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 3.
Go on.
For when they shall say peace and safety,
Go on. I'm going to talk for read from one.
verse 1. But of the times and the season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you.
Go on.
For yourself know perfectly
Go on.
that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Because say, ourselves and know perfectly. Say the day of the Lord that come as a what? Thief in the night. You know, just like what thief, you know, break your basically your house or your shop. You know, you never expect it. I didn't look for it happen. That's how the Heavenly Father come. Because people now look for it. See the prophecies and all the signs, you know, the Heavenly Father is supposed to look for before he make him arrival. You know, going back to 2,000 years ago, Lord, the house shine. You know, the man of people ignorantly called Jesus. You know, tell us all the prophecies, you know, all the things that will take place, you know, before he make him arrival. Super people are earthquake in diverse places. Famine. I see famine now prepare right across the world, even out in Jamaica. Pestilence, like diseases. People are busy doing all different type of wickedness, you know. Now look for this, because in the back of their mind, if it's the society will continue forever and ever. So that's what the scripture says. Go on.
For when they shall say peace and safety,
when they shall say peace and safety, go on.
Then sudden destruction come upon them.
Then sudden destruction will come upon them. So that catch a lot of people sudden. This destruction, we are coming and catch people sudden. Go on, brother.
You know, Daniel. As travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye virgins are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief.
Exactly. You know, we're in the darkness here. You know, because we understand, you know, we're basically watchman. You know, basically nation of Israel. We're the watchman, basically we are one of people. So I say, well, give them warning, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. Continue, brother.
Alright, so this is back in 2 Ezra 6 verse 22. And suddenly shall the sound place appear and sound.
And suddenly shall the sound place appear and sound. Go on.
And the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
And the full storehouses shall suddenly found empty. The supermarket gonna suddenly found empty. You know, I think in March, you have this video that circulate the wharf. You know, this man who work at the wharf. I show you say, hey, the men when I wharf basically still gonna relax because no shipment now come in. No, remember? So we think now. So you say the full storehouses are gonna suddenly found empty. So you're gonna go to the supermarket one day, the shelf them gonna empty. And they're gonna bug out. Go on.
Right. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear it, they shall be suddenly afraid.
They shall be suddenly afraid. Go on.
And at that time shall friends fight one against another.
And at that time, the time we are approaching right now, Sipa said, and at that time shall friends fight against friends like enemies. Sipa said, a friend cannot be known in prosperity. So a lot of people will think of your friend now, when the time to come, they're going to bug out you. And they're going to kill you for your own food.
Yeah, so the enemy cannot be hidden
in adversity. So a lot of men will basically claim to you say you are them friend now, when the time to come, they're going to basically fight for your food. Because you got a shortage of food. So you tell you right here. Go on, brother, go on again.
Right, so, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies.
And at that time shall friends fight against one another like enemies. Go on.
And the earth shall stand in fear.
And the earth shall stand in fear, go on.
With those that dwell therein.
Exactly.
And the spring of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
Give me 2 Ezra now. 15 and 19. 15 and give me start at verse 14.
Alright, this is 2 Ezra 15 verse 14.
Go on.
Woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
Go on.
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh.
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh.
And one people shall stand up to fight against another.
Go on, they're talking about a race war, you know, and basically also class war. And we already see the race war tension and basically a bill right now in America. You know, so we see the prophecies that them coming to pass now, right before our eyes. Go on.
And swords in their hands.
And weapons in their hands. Go on.
For there shall be sedition among men.
There shall be what? Sedition among men. You know, a lot of these so-called Negroes, you know, out in Jamaica, you know, are basically come up against, you know, the government, too, because I already see a lot of people now, they don't really believe in this whole politics thing no more. You know, because a lot of people don't vote in this election. You know, give an estimate of the soldiers, them, a lot of people don't vote. Because they're fed up and tired of all the lies them, you know, politicians or leaders been telling them over the years. So they might cope against the government, against the police force, the soldiers. Jake got a bug out, man. Go on.
Right, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire.
Continue.
A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall destroy.
The houses shall destroy because you're going to have a looting. You know, when food run out, a man basically not have food in the house. You know, a man going to take up them gun. And a man go hunt in the neighbor. You know, tell you where food is, and where you hide the food. Also, you got the government going to send soldiers, you know, or police to come and take away your food. Because they're going to want it to basically ration it. So you have a lot of people prepping right now you know, the government gonna send, you know, police or soldiers to come and take your food. You know, as soon as things get real serious I'm out in Jamaica. Because they're gonna want it for rationality, go on.
And men shall be afraid.
And men shall be afraid. You know, Luke tell us say, man's heart feeling them for the things that they see come upon the earth.
Right.
Go on.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor.
Man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Brother Skipper earlier and say what? At that time, friends are going to fight against friends like enemy. Skipper say a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Go on.
But shall destroy their houses with the sword.
So destroy their houses with the sword of the weapon. Go on.
And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread.
Because of what? The lack of bread. Because of shortage of food. We see it take place now right across the world.
And for great tribulation.
And for what? Great tribulation, yo. So we are approaching the time of Jacob's trouble, yo. So with that, I say all praises and honor to Yahweh Bashim, Shai Bashim, Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of great stone. Shalom to all our brothers and out there push the truth in our sincerity and in our honesty. Shalom.